floor of the auditorium, doing what they were doing, participating in the tallying and verification, and it just took a minute or two for them to come and join us.
So they joined you in the holding place?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Was Commissioner Irene Masit one of them?
Yes.
So she was present?
Yes, she was present.
She was present in this meeting?
Yes, I'm sure.
Now, you then go on to explain in paragraph 59 and 56, and of concern is where you talk about moderation in paragraph 60. Yes. I need you to explain what was this request and what did they mean by saying moderation?
In 59, the first to speak was Senator Amos Wako, who said that as former Attorney General, remember elections were at some point managed in the Attorney General's office, and Attorney General's office was very, very powerful as regards the election. He said we should not operate in a vacuum. We should look at the bigger picture for the country, and as former election supervisor, then when you reach this kind of situation, you can moderate results and achieve stability of the country. Then we had also Honorable Tuchu spoke. He said that it was necessary that we moderate these results in favor of Baba, and that any contrary declaration of results would plunge the country into chaos.
Okay, so because these proceedings are recorded, when you say in favor of Baba, what do you mean?
I understood Baba to mean the Asmio presidential candidate, because that's what they call him.
Who was who?
Raila Odinga.
Raila Odinga.
Yes.
So the moderation was to be in favor of Raila Odinga.
Yes.
And you then flow to the issue of runoff in paragraph 60. Kindly explain.
You said that in the alternative, if it was not possible to moderate the results in that manner, then we should ensure that there is a runoff.
How?
He didn't say how. I also don't know how that would be done.
Okay, what about moderation? Did you know how it was to be done?
I had no idea how it would, because the elections reflect the will of the people, and as I said, from 34A is announced at the polling station and transmitted to the portal. So any form of moderation would not be possible.
So without sounding political, what you're saying is coming from bottom up, or from the polling station up to the National Tallying Center.
Yes, I believe if this gentleman knew the transparent system we had put in place, perhaps they would not have made this visit. Because at the end of the day, the results were already out there in the portal. So, and any attempt to change them would result into a lot of other problems.
Well, you've just said if these guys had known what we had set up. What do you mean?
I'm saying they were talking as if the thing of the old days when we didn't have transmission of results into the portal, where elections then were not that transparent. But the systems we had put in place were such that these suggestions they were making would not be possible.
Did the constitution of this great republic envisage or permit a situation where you could moderate results in a presidential elections?
Absolutely.
Or change to permit a runoff?
Absolutely not. Not the 2010 constitution, and not even the previous constitution, if I remember.
Right. Now, as at 3 a.m. this time, had you gotten the final results after the verification of all?
We had not got the final result, but most of the verification and tallying had been done. But we had not got the final result.
So did you ask Wafula Chebukati, the chairman, know for a fact who was the winner as at this time?
I had not got the final figures, But
As Wafula
we, of
Chebukati,
course,
the
had
chairman,
the
know
constituency result.
for a fact who was the winner as at this time?
I had not got the final figures, but we, of course, had the constituency results, but I did not know at this point in time who was the winner.
Right, then if we flow to paragraph 61, you say the advocate never made comments?
Yes, he did not say anything.
Did not say anything.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I've left out the point of being rewarded reasonably, but I'd rather go there. Let me read this statement, sir. After the talk of moderation, this is what you say. For this, he indicated that should his request be granted, it would be adequately rewarded. Who was this? And what was the reward?
This, the person who spoke these words was Raphael Tuju, and that's what he said. That we consider the request, then we shall be rewarded.
You shall be rewarded.
Yes.
Did he expound the reward?
Oh, we did not encourage him to expound the reward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let me flow on the reward and we'll come back to paragraph 62. The last part, the third last line, and I want to read for you. You say you did not want him to expound, but this is what you say. As regard the incentive, and the emphasis is the word incentive, I was categorical that I'm adequately remunerated. And here the word emphasis is remunerated. And do not want anything from anyone. Do not want anything from anyone. Professor Gulie, Commissioner Molu, supported this view. The team left. Now, was Commissioner Irene Masit part of this meeting?
Yes, she was.
How come you did not mention her as supporting you? Or was she part of the incentive? And why did you use the word incentive and remuneration, sir?
Yeah, prior to that, just to put it in context, I invited the commissioners one by one to speak on the statements from those two gentlemen who had spoken, and I spoke last. And when I was responding to it is when I said these things about remuneration, which Commissioner Molo and Professor supported the view. So the others had already spoken. The other commissioners had already spoken.
Sorry to cut you. You know, reward could be by way of prayers for you and your family, could be by way of others. There must be a reason why you use the word remunerated.
Because those were the sentiments.
Those were the sentiments.
Yeah, that's what was expressed.
Monetary.
Yes.
Monetary.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
Yeah.
Let's go on then.
So what I'm saying is all the commissioners had a chance to speak. As usual, I normally allow them to express their views in any meeting, and this was one of those meetings. So basically, the commissioner must sit alongside the other three, said that we should consider these statements from the two gentlemen very seriously.
Should consider the reward seriously.
Not the reward, the statements.
We are talking about the reward here.
About the reward, they did not say anything. The Commissioner Masi did not say anything about the reward.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was more about the request.
All right.
Yes.
But you see, you adopted this statement, this affidavit. This is an affidavit and oath.
Yes.
You are a very senior lawyer. You know the meaning of an affidavit and an oath.
Yes.
You said you mentioned only 2 to have supported you. So the inference is the other way.
I think we need to read the whole paragraph in context. The support here from Commissioner Molo and Professor was more on the substantive issue which was raised as to whether we should moderate the results or not.
Right.
Not on the issue of reward.
So you had people who wanted to bribe, technically, the commissioners to subvert the will of the people.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
That is exactly what they left no doubt that was.
And you are aware, is that an offense under our penal code?
Not just penal code, even Election Offences Act.
Even Election Offences Act.
Yes.
And this, right, let me not go beyond. Let's go back to moderation. In respect to moderation and forcing a runoff, you then talked about giving the other people to have a chance to speak in paragraph 62.
Yes.
What was the position of Commissioner Irene Masit? Very specific.
Where are we handling some of these issues?
Okay, we proceed.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Physical meetings with type, and then lastly, you were
All right. In fact, I wanted, after probably another 10, 15 minutes, we take a health break. Very well. Then we'll take a health break. Very well. Thank you very much, sir. Now, Mr. Chebukati, you know, some of us are over 50, myself and Donald here, so I think it will come shortly, the break. Now, moderation and the forcing of runoff.
Yes.
And I'm very particular on the position of Commissioner, because you say they all commented. You are in that meeting, right?
Yes.
You were in that meeting.
I chaired the meeting.
You had chaired the meeting.
Yeah.
Were the guests present?
Yes, they were.
The guests were present.
Yes.
And you then asked your commissioners to comment on what these guests have asked.
Yes.
And I'm trying to understand why this was done in the presence of the guests. Can you explain?
The guests had come with a request.
Yes.
And as a team, then they needed to be responded to. So I asked each commissioner then to make their comments on those requests.
Looking at them in the eye, what was the response of
It's
Commissioner Masit?
Okay, the way we are here, we of course, when you talk, I look at you. And Commissioner Masit agreed with the remarks of Senator Wako and Honorable Tuju.
So what was the remark of Senator Wako?
That we should moderate results.
Now, as a chair and as a very senior lawyer, did the Constitution of this great republic allow that?
Absolutely not.
What's your position then on that request?
I said that the will of the people must be respected and we must live to the oath of our office. To me, that then were things that you don't expect, and that's why I said this then were attempts to subvert the will of the people.
So you are saying a commissioner wanted to subvert? That's what you're saying?
That's it. That's exactly what it is.
Right.
Yes.
In the other issue, what was the other request?
Force a runoff.
By who?
If the presidential candidate for Asmia doesn't win, then a runoff should be forced. That was Honorable Raphael Tuju.
What was the position of, I'm very specific, Commissioner Irene Masit on that request?
She said we should consider the remarks of both Senator Wako and the Honorable Raphael Tuju.
What do you mean, expound As a lawyer,
Consider means think of agreeing, think of a way of assisting.
get of a way of assisting.
Yes, something like that.
Now, did the Constitution allow that?
Absolutely not.
So one of your commissioners was doing what?
Sorry?
So what you are saying, one of your commissioners was what? Was permitting, or trying to, agreeing with an attempt to subvert or violate the Constitution on that runoff issue?
That's what it appeared to be.
All right. Now, then, at what point did you leave? Okay. Did the guest leave? People have made their comments.
Then we finished the meeting. We told them we shall do what the law requires us to do. That's what I told them. And then they left shortly after.
So the incentive never got to anyone?
No.
Did you know where the incentive was coming from?
Where?
The incentive was coming from?
It's Tuju who mentioned it, so I don't know where it was coming from, and I didn't care to know where it would be coming from.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Now, we go to the next part, which starts with paragraph 63. You there, sir?
Yes, I'm there.
So, these visitors left, their first group of visitors left around what time? Do you remember?
Maybe around 3:30 or thereabouts. The meeting was about half an hour or 45 minutes or something like that.
3:30 or thereabout?
Yeah, so I think that we took about 45 minutes for that meeting.
For that, 45 minutes. Now, you've been woken up 45 minutes. After they left, was there a discussion as commissioners? Because you are in a position, you say two supported you to not to violate the Constitution. The other took a different position. Visitors have gone. Did you have a meeting?
I think after they left, we all got back to our work stations. I had also been woken up, so I continued working. So we did not have further discussion on the matter, and I didn't then give it much thought, really, after they left.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you then, you are aware of the implication of putting these facts in an affidavit?
Yes, I was.
And you stick to these facts?
Yes, because that's the truth. That's what happened.
You stick to this fact that people wanted to moderate?
Yes.
All right. Now, we go to paragraph 63. There's a new team of visitors. I need you to explain how did you know about this visit, and just introduction on paragraph 63.
This was on the morning of 15th. I received a call around 9 a.m. from the head of public service then, Mr. Joseph Kinywa, that a team from National Security Advisory Committee will be coming to see me and requesting me to see them. And he said they will be talking briefly about assumption of office. Later on,
the purpose of the meeting from the call was assumption of office.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Kinywa said.
Did you have any problem discussing assumption of office?
Absolutely not. I mean, I didn't know how I come in, but they wanted to discuss it, and I said, it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about whether there was an issue of assumption of office discussed. Then flow to paragraph 65 and the visit at paragraph 66.
Yes, so because of other duties we were undertaking, we said they need to wait. We managed to see them at 2 p.m. I and the commissioners met them at 2 p.m.
Where was the meeting?
The The meeting took place at the CEO's office boardroom at the Bomas of Kenya, the CEO of Bomas of Kenya's boardroom.
Now, this meeting, was it attended by all commissioners? And to be specific, was Commissioner Irene Masit present?
Yes, Commissioner Irene Masit was present together with all the 5 others in this meeting.
In this meeting?
Yes.
Now, from my reading of paragraph 65 flowing to 66, it appears as though there was already an arranged, pre-planned meeting apart from the one of these visitors.
Yes, I had informed the commissioners that we should have a meeting at 2 to be briefed, or rather to look at the final results before declaration. And so we were meeting specifically to look at the results as stipulated in Form 34C, which we had asked the CEO to print and bring to the boardroom. So this was our meeting.
And in this meeting, prior to this meeting, had any of the commissioners seen Form 34C?
That Form 34C had not been printed, and none of us had seen it.
Had not been printed,
Yes.
None of you had seen it?
Yes.
Had any of you known the final results as prior to this meeting?
The final tally had not been known, disclosed to us, but all the constituency results were out there.
So all constituency results were out there?
Yes.
You mean any
We
particular...
had finished tallying and verification, and the commissioners had been announcing them, and all the results were there.
When you say they are out there, because these
Proceedings
are recorded, I need clarity. What you mean when you say they are out there?
We mentioned the scenario of the auditorium where the tallying and verification was ongoing, and populating of Form C was happening. And so the results were there. After verification, all the constituency results were available.
In the portal or where?
No, with the commissioners, with the team, with the IEBC team.
With the IEBC team?
Yes.
Now, prior to this meeting, was there any problem amongst the commissioners?
No.
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
Any disagreements? Not at all?
No.
Right. So, you meet at 2 o'clock, and you are clear in paragraph 66, you wanted to declare a declaration, right? Then you, flowing to paragraph 67, you say, then you decided to meet the commissioners. Kindly explain.
We decided to meet as a commission before declaration so that we can look at the final result, which we were going to declare. But before that, we then said, since we have visitors, let's attend to them first.
Right.
Yes.
Are the visitors the one mentioned in paragraph 67?
Yes.
And you said they were coming on behalf of?
The National Security Advisory Committee.
Now, you then talk about introduction, composition, deliberate selection, and the magnitude of the message. Kindly explain.
Yes, so the team leader, Mr. Kennedy Kihara, introduced the team of the 4, introduced himself, and the participants, Mr. Kenneth Ogeto, Solicitor General, Mr. Hilary Mtiambai, Inspector General of Police, and Lieutenant General Francis Omondo Gola, the Vice Chief of the Defense Forces. That was the team. Yes. And he said this team has been carefully selected to come for this meeting. And he proceeded then to, after the introductions from all of us, he proceeded to deliver a message. He said they had a message for us.
Message from who?
From the NSAC, the National Security Advisory Committee.
Paragraph 69, flowing to 70, you talk about the message. Kindly explain.
Yes, the message was that if I declared the final election results in favor of Honorable William Samoei Ruto as president-elect. The country is going to burn. And he proceeded to tell us that the already skirmishes had started in the country. Kikuyus and Luos were already fighting. And he cited several slums, including Kibera and Mathare, on the basis of what he termed betrayal by the Kikuyus.
Betrayal by the Kikuyus.
That was his message.
Right.
Yes.
Paragraph 70, he went on to caution.
He went on to caution that if we proceeded with the declaration of Honorable Ruto as president-elect and chaos erupt, then the blood of Kenyans, the blood of the dead Kenyans will be on our hands. And he said all of us, 7 of us, the commissioners and myself, will be held responsible.
Now, how did you take that message to mean to you and the commissioners?
Well, this then was obviously, this is a national security advisory team, the top organ of government. And a message of that nature then was outrightly a threat to the independence of the commission.
It's a threat to the independence of the commission.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how I took it. And
as at the time they
yes.
were speaking, had the final results verified been with you people?
We had not received the final Form 34C from the CEO. We were waiting for it. But as I said, these results were already out there. Remember, we had a public portal where everybody interacted with, and people did their own tallying.
So people could have done their tallying and known
Yes.
who is the winner?
Yes.
But you?
The official result from that 4C was not with us yet.
But as at that time, they are already telling you should not declare specific person.
Yes, yes.
All right. Now, we flow to paragraph...
So that we so that we don't spend too much time on this. You see, you've verified the results.
Yes.
And you're doing that as per the constituencies.
Yes.
And that you had verified all the results of the constituencies.
Yes, by the morning of 15th.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and it was being done by commissioners, by your staff,
Yes.
in the presence of agents,
Yes.
and all those who wanted to.
Yes.
So the results were known to that
Absolutely.
extent.
Yeah. At least the constituency results
Constituency
were all
results.
out. Yes.
And all that you needed to do was arithmetical.
There were two things that Form C, that 4C brings out. Other than the final results, it also, the system computes the number of counties a candidate has garnered, because that's important.
Yes.
The percentage. Then is,
Yes.
so completes the Form 34C. Yeah, so that to declare a winner, you must know how many counties they have been garnered, because one needs 24 counties on the minimum to win a presidential election, and also the percentage.
No, what I'm asking is, a careful agent, okay? People who are interested in these results, and I'm sure all of those who are in the room were interested, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It was a matter of calculation.
Yes, with your calculator, you could have known the results even after 48 hours or the second or third day.
So fine, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Then you flow to paragraph 71. Then you talk of a request that was made appears similar by the earlier visitors. Can you explain?
The paragraph 71,
Yes.
the second part of the message from the NSAC delegation was that if we cannot announce Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga as the outright winner, then we must ensure there is a runoff.
Was there any explanation how you would ensure there is a runoff?
None was given, and up to now, I wouldn't know if that can possibly be done. As I said, results were out there. So anybody attempting to manipulate them, it will not work.
Okay. Then you say they wanted something from you, 72.
Yes, he said now that he has delivered the message, he wants a message to take back or a response from the commission.
Right.
And so what I did is I asked the commissioners one by one what they think about that message.
Now, was there, I need to be very specific, Commissioner Irene Masit. And first of all, was this done in the presence of the visitors?
Yes.
So your commissioners gave their comments
In
looking
the presence,
at the visitors in the
yes,
eye?
Yes.
And what was the position of Commissioner Irene Masit?
Yes, so the Commissioner Masit, alongside the others, said this message requires serious consideration, and she supported the adoption of the communication from NSAC to be considered before taking a decision on the results to be announced.
Right. Consider before doing what?
Before taking a decision on the result, as to the results to be announced.
So what does that mean?
I believe there's a preemptive action. If the results come in and they are going the way which is not anticipated by this team, then we should consider them and look for a way of doing what the request was.
So, did the law or the constitution of this great republic allow what your fellow commissioner was supporting?
In fact, it's quite to the contrary.
What do you mean?
The constitution was set up to ensure that these kind of things don't happen. Remember, the commission is independent and it's about the will of the people. That's what we exist to protect.
Without going to legal maxims that we don't like, is that the commissioner wanted subversion of the will?
Well, from the expression of what they said, and saying we should consider NSAC message, that is exactly subversion of the will of the people.
Subversion of the will of the people.
Yes.
Did you, then what happened?
The NSAC team left, and the CEO then, Mr. Marijan, brought in the Form 34C.
Oh, very well.
Yes.
We can stop there.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. We take 15, 20 minutes break, then we resume.
Thank you very much.